What's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's shaking? What's doing? It is Friday night. Well, where I am, it's Friday night. If you're on the east or the west coast, it's only 4 in the afternoon. It is 7:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, March the 28th, 2025. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the Voice Man Studios in Toronto, Canada, and this is episode 323 of McRae Live, and I wanted to jump on tonight. I got some beef I need to get off my chest. An article I read in Variety yesterday. Look, you know what? It is no secret that movie theaters are, attendance is down. People today, especially, really every generation, but especially if you are of the younger generation, you've grown up with these things in your pockets. You've grown up not knowing what it's, you have grown up in the digital era. You've grown up in the streaming era. Listen, if you were born, let's say in 2000 and let's say 7 or 8, right? You'd be what? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You'd be like 17 years old right now. You'd be in your last years of high school. You have no idea what it's like to not even have Netflix. You have no idea what it's like to not even be able to stream, S-T-R-E-A-M, to stream a movie. Now, streaming wasn't really around in 2008, but by the time you were cognitively aware of what was going on and that you were a human being and breathing and alive, streaming already existed. You know what I'm saying? And so I understand that, and look, there are people my age, I'm nearly 46, 4 years away from 50, and even my generation, we can get lazy and we don't want to go to the movie theater. We just, cost, right? Cost, depending on how many you're taking to the movie theater, is you and your wife and your kids, and it can cost, it costs a lot. Who the hell wants to sit through 5,721 commercials? I get it, I understand it. The movie theater attendance is down, and certainly the movie theaters, whether it's Regal, whether it's AMC, whether it's Cinemark, whether it's Cineplex here in Canada, whatever the case is, I understand that, you want to be able to, figure something out. How do we lure people back to the movie theaters? How do we get people's asses into the seats? What can we do? Well, how about we try this? How about we have D-Box, things vibrate? How about we have, let's have VIP, and we can serve alcohol, and, why don't we do this, or why don't we do that, or, and they're thinking of all kinds of stuff to try and get people back into the movie theater. I get it. I understand it. I understand all the gripes that people have with the movie theaters. I understand all the gripes that people have. It costs too much. It's too this. It's too this. I can just sit at home, and it's a cover my home, and I can pause and go take a shit and come back. I can pause and go have sex with my wife and come back. I can, whatever. I get it. I totally get it. I totally understand it. I understand it. I get it. It's more convenient. It's cheaper. Your kitchen is right there. Your bathroom is right there. I get it. I understand it. And, it makes sense. It makes sense. But this article, and to think of new ways to figure out what to do, to how to bring, people into the movie theater, I get it. I totally get it. But this article I read in Variety yesterday is just one of those things where I'm just like, this is not, I really hope this doesn't happen. Even though they are talking about specific theaters for this, so it wouldn't be, mixed in with everybody else. It's like how you have a VIP theater where they serve alcohol. They don't serve alcohol in every theater, right? And so, I understand that this is what they're talking about, but I still don't think that this is the way to do it. Let's jump over to the other screen, and this article comes to us from Variety, ladies and gentlemen. This was yesterday, March 27th, 2025, by William Earl. William Earl. I don't know who William Earl is, but I don't think this is the way to go. I really don't think this is the way to go. This is texting, weed, and sing-alongs, 4 radical ideas for bringing new audiences to movie theaters. And, if that's the way you want to do it, well, then maybe that's the way you want to do it. I don't know. It's time for movie-going to get a makeover. Well, hang on a sec, William. let's not go too far. Let's not go too far. From selling pot along with popcorn to offering cell phone-friendly screenings, cinema owners could soon overhaul the way their customers watch films. These changes, many of them once considered sacrilegious, may give the box office a much-needed boost. And there are plenty of people out there to entice, given that the majority of Americans these days aren't regular moviegoers. While the U.S. population has grown steadily over the decades, there haven't been many recent innovations drawing newcomers to the multiplex. The current crop of amenities are mostly luxurious offerings that make the experience more expensive, like IMAX or dine-in theaters. How dare they? How dare they charge more for a premium experience? Anyway, which could be a tough sell if the economy continues to teeter. Thanks, tariffs. Below are 4 ways theater owners could revive attendance. Now, I'm going to, stop and start and give my opinions on this. I'm reading this and I'm thinking, I get it, but there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way of doing this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think this is the way. This is not this is the way. I don't. Sorry. William, you may be, I disagree. I disagree. Lifting up profits. Imagine how much better Barbie or Deadpool and Wolverine would be if you could see it with a bud. And of course, that should be in brackets, really, or in quotations. Bud. A bud. Take Kev Jones. Kev Jones. All right, Mr. Kev Jones, let's hear you. Kev Jones. Take Kev Jones, who was smoking a joint outside the AMC Times Square. Well, I mean, it's Times Square. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to not find anybody smoking a doobie out there. Anyway, outside the Times Square on a March weeknight before a screening of Mickey 17. It helps to loosen me up, he says, and puts me in a sci-fi frame of mind. He says, taking a big hit. It helps to loosen me up, man, and get me in that sci-fi frame of mind. But honestly, I smoke before every movie. Oh, well, then there you go. So before every movie, he smokes to relax, to chill out. I'm relaxed, man. I'm fucking relaxed, bro. Hey, bro. I'm relaxed, bro. Let's go see a movie, bro. Let's go see a movie. Jones, a member of AMC's Stubbs A-List, which allows moviegoers to attend several screenings a week for a flat fee, is a frequent guest, and he says he would come more often if he could buy and smoke pot at the theater. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would, Mr. Jones. How fun would that be, bruh? Like, seriously, imagine how fun that would be. I could just go to the counter and be like, bro, can you hook me up with the fucking shit when I'm done? I can just sit in the theater and be like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm sure it'd be amazing. How fun would that be, he says. They have a bar here so that people can relax and enjoy a drink. I'd love to relax on my own terms. Yeah, that's true. And of course, this would be in a specific pot theater. So here's the thing with marijuana, folks. Okay, so obviously this would be a specific marijuana theater. So I would imagine that the theater number 17 is the marijuana theater, and maybe they could deck it out in green leaves and all that kind of stuff. And so it's not like you're sitting in a movie theater, and you're not, and you're somebody who doesn't smoke pot like myself, and you wouldn't be affected by secondhand pot and get high from, secondhand smoke. So it would be a pot specific theater. But here's the thing. A lot of people smoke dope, folks. And if people get into a theater like that and everybody's lighting up, are you even going to be able to see the screen? Are you going to be able to see the screen? The amount of pot smoke. Are you going to be able to see it? And how high? You're going to get high from your own joint, and then you're going to get high from other people's smoke. Whoa, bro. You're not even going to know what the fuck is going on. You're not even going to know what day it is. And then it's not like the smoke is contained in the theater. It's going to seep through the walls. It's going to seep through the cracks, down the hallway, through the door. People are going to be down at concessions buying popcorn and drinks, and the whole fucking theater is going to smell like pot, man. It's good. Now to you who maybe smokes a couple of doobies a night, you probably don't care. Yeah, but I'm just saying for optics, you know what I mean? Optics, you bring children into the theater, right? Mommy, let's go see Snow White. Come on. Okay, dear, let's go. I'm taking my young daughter to see Snow White or, I don't know, some, Disney movie or, How to Train Your Dragon. Come on, sweetheart, let's go. And you walk into the theater, and you don't even have to be in the pot theater, number 17 down there. You just walk into the theater. It fucking reeks of dope in here, man. And how many screenings are you going to have a day? What's the ventilation going to be like? You have fans in there? I mean, what is it going to be like? I mean, so yes, alcohol, I get it, right? It's not something, I can sit at a movie theater, and if Bob over here, 3 rows down, 7 seats over, is drinking beer, that doesn't affect me, and it's not like I can smell alcohol, you know what I mean? It's contained, it goes in, but pot with the smoke is just coming out, you walk into the AMC, you walk in, what the hell? You could be like this waft. There'd be like this waft of smoke, like this cloud. Where's that coming from? Theater 17, bro. Theater 17. It's the fucking VIP pot smoking theater, bro. You guys gotta try it out. And I'm just like, I get it, I understand. But, do what Mr. Jones does. Smoke a doobie. Get as high as fuck, however high you need to be, and then just go see the movie. Do you need to smoke while you're watching the movie? Maybe if you're, obsessed addict or something like that, but, and for God's sakes, you could time it. If the movie starts at 7:30, it really starts at 8. And so you could just be outside from 7:30 to 8, just go... Get as high as you possibly can, and then go, okay, that's really fucking good. I'm gonna go watch the movie now. And that's all you need to do. Do you really need to be in the movie theater going, oh, fuck yeah? And if ever, say it's a movie theater where there's 86 people in there, and there's 86 people all in this one room smoking up. You know what I mean? Is there going to be a limit? Like you can only light up once, or it can only be pot purchased from the movie theater, and maybe it's a special kind of pot that doesn't give off a lot of smoke or something. I don't know. Or is it laced with butter? Is it like this special pot that's laced with butter and I don't know, do you have different kinds of this one tastes like Diet Coke. I'll have a Diet Coke, please, and a Diet Pot. I don't know how you're gonna, I just don't know how you I just don't get it. Guys, just go fucking smoke your joint outside and then go see the movie. You don't need a pot theater, all right? Come on, William. Okay, and I know that they may be moving towards this. I'm going to read on here. They may be moving towards this, folks. They may be moving towards this. Under New York law, marijuana became legal. By the way, here in Canada, it is legal across the country. Under New York law, marijuana became legal recreationally in 2021 and began being sold through sanctioned dispensaries in 2022. No movie theaters are allowed to sell weed, but according to Taylor Randy Lee, press secretary for the New York State Office of Cannabis Management, things could change. Quote, at this time, cannabis can only be sold at legal licensed adult use dispensaries or legal licensed adult use micro businesses, she says via email. For theaters to serve recreational marijuana at their establishments, they would need either an events permit or consumption lounge license. New York State does not have either yet, but plans to in the future. Or as Dr. Loomis would say, the future. Okay. Selling weed could bring fresh, I don't know how fresh it would be, could bring fresh revenue and new customers to theaters and set the path for other cannabis-friendly states to follow suit. Yeah. But William, think about everything I've just said here. William is the author of this article. William Earl. This comes to us from Variety. I get it. At face value, the alcohol, it doesn't pot. What's next? A Coke theater? Hey, come on in, everybody. Come on in. It's a safe injection site. Come on in here. You can shoot up. And just get lines. You have those old, tables, on the airplanes, and they fold over. Well, I guess they already have those in the VIP theaters for, alcohol and things. But, you just all over, and there's everybody. I mean, what are we doing here, right? I mean, I get it. Coke is far more harsh than pot. I get it. But it's the principle, right? Like, I don't understand how you contain the marijuana to the movie theater, right? To theater number 17. I don't know how you contain, and how many showings are you having a day? Are you having just one? Is it all throughout the day and you're having like 6 or 7 showings a day? I mean, that marijuana smoke, folks, depending on who's in there and what your ventilation system's like, is not going to stay in theater number 17, right? It's going to waft out through the cracks of the doors, down the hallway. People are going to smell it buying popcorn. I mean, it's, so you kind of have to figure that shit out first, I would imagine. Feel free to text. No! Now, I know this would be a text-friendly theater. I get that. I get it. I understand it. So if you want... But then... anyways, I'll... okay. Jessica Garcia, a college student in Michigan, loves movies. She loves movies. No, you don't, Jessica. No, you don't. But can't remember the last time she saw one in a theater. Quote, I just like streaming things and sitting on the couch with my phone and snacks. Second screening. Okay, it's this hip new thing. I don't know. She says, and then she goes on to say, if there's a boring part, I'll just jump on Instagram or TikTok and, until things get going again. I would just jump on Instagram or TikTok quick until things get going again. What the hell? People, can we not... Even in movie theaters, I've said this before. I'm going to turn this over to the other thing. I really want you to see me. Folks, shut up. Turn this off. You don't need to be on it during the movie. Yeah, but if there's a boring part, what do you mean boring part? What do you mean? What, character development? Some exposition that's really important? Every other part in the movie where there isn't boom, boom, bang, bang, woo, ah, woo, ah, woo, ah. Is it what do you mean by boring part? Oh, 2 people are talking and it's very dramatic and it's, it's part of the character. Is that what you mean? Because if that's what you mean, come on, man. What is it? Come on. I don't care if you're on the phone before the movie starts and you're checking TikTok. Let me look at TikTok. Let me look at TikTok. Okay, fine. Look at TikTok. Go ahead. Look at TikTok. Look at Instagram, Snapchat, whatever the hell else people are looking at. Go ahead. But when the movie starts, man, unless you are expecting someone, and I say this with all due respect, unless you're expecting your wife to have a baby, and if that's true, what the hell are you doing in the movie theater? Unless you're somebody who has a significant other who's on death's door and they're about to pass away, and if that's the case, what the hell are you doing in the movie theater? Maybe you have your phone on put your phone on vibrate. Yeah, but the kids, what if there's an emergency with the children? Well, then put your phone on vibrate. Put the screen brightness all the way down. Put your phone under your leg. And if you feel, just take a little look to see if it's the babysitter. And if it's not, if it's Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or Gmail, whatever, don't look at it. It's not important. It's not important. It's not important. It can wait 90 minutes. Like, it mind boggles me that there's a generation out there that goes to a movie theater and actually says, hey, you know what? When the boring part comes on, I just look at Instagram and TikTok quickly. What are you doing? You can't shut up. You can't put your phone away for 90 minutes. Like, come on, man. Come on. And then if you're sitting at home, right? Like, even if you're at home, I know it's more tempting, but even if you're at home, the only time I will look at my phone while I'm watching a movie, and by the way, I will pause the movie if I'm doing this, is if I see somebody, I'm like, oh, fuck, who is that? I know that actor. Oh, damn, let me pause the movie. And let me look at yeah. Cool. Okay. And away we go. That's the only time I will do that. I'm not watching a movie and going, gee, I wonder what's happening on Instagram. Come on. Are we serious? I'm stunned. I'm stunned at this. Come on, man. Folks, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. We aren't. We actually have to have text specific. If you have to have a movie theater, why are you there? Why are you at the movie theater, folks? You're there to watch the movie. So what William is proposing is that, hey, why don't we have, and this isn't the first time I've heard of this, why don't we have text-friendly movie theaters, right? You know, certain, like theater number 17, right? It's text-friendly. Everybody in there can be on their phones with their brightness up, doing everything. Hey, Bob, did you see what I got on TikTok? Let me send that person back there. Bling. Oh, did you get my text, Bob? While the movie's playing? Why are you there? Why are you there? You wasted money. Why are you there? What is the point of that? Like, explain this to me. Explain it to me like I'm 4. Why are you there? Nobody cares in a regular movie theater if you happen to glance at your phone. I mean, some people forget to turn their brightness down. Try to do that, right? Because in a dark theater, the brightness is like, it's like, you know, God coming through or some airplane coming in. So try to turn, but nobody gives a shit if you look at your phone for just a couple of seconds during a movie. If the brightness is down, it's not intrusive because, you know, you're expecting a call or, nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. What people are irritated by are those that are on their phones during the movie. And if you're on your phone during the movie, why are you there? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, I like to go on TikTok and Instagram during the boring parts. During the boring parts? During the boring parts? Get out. Get out. You're not a movie fan. No, you're not a movie fan. You're a blah, 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 blah fan. That's what you are. And this, I'm not trying to sound pretentious when I say this. Like, I'm just like, I'm stunned. You can't just put your phone away for 90 minutes. Like, Jesus Christ, man. You want to know how to fix movie theaters? Stop the 30-minute commercials. I know theaters have to make money. I get it. But come on, I didn't pay, $25 if I'm going to IMAX to watch 38 minutes of commercials that have nothing to do with movies. I'm being sold insurance. I'm seeing, Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's. Like, what are we doing? I'd rather watch 30 minutes of trailers, to be honest with you. And I don't want to watch 30 minutes of trailers, but I'd rather, at least it's movie related, I get you need money. I get it. But there's a problem. That's an issue. Text-friendly theaters? So what? What would that even look like? You walk into a text-friendly theater, a phone-friendly theater. What is that going to look like? Are you just going to open the door and hear a bunch of walla? And you walk around the corner and you look and you see everybody on their phones going, and the movie's just playing in the background. Like, what? Like, what? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand it. It's not that people go on their phones. It's that people are on their phones as if there's nobody around them to disturb. That's the issue. I don't give a fuck if somebody besides me checks their phone for 10 seconds because they got a buzz from the babysitter or something. Nobody cares about that. It's somebody who's sitting there on their phone going, yeah, hi, Bob, how are ya? That's the problem. Or somebody who's sitting there playing fucking Donkey Kong while the movie's on. That's what irritates us. That's the problem. Because when you're in a dark room, the light is intrusive. And, the noise, if they don't even turn that's the problem. You don't need a phone-friendly theater. Why? Why are you there then? Just go home. You're not there. You're supposed to be there for the movie-going experience. It's the experience, the 30-foot screen, the fucking speakers the size of your SUV. You know what I mean? It's like it's the immersive experience. Like, why are you there? Why are you there? Jesus Christ. It's fucking unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable. Sorry, Jessica, I don't agree with you. Although cinephiles might object, you don't even have to be a cinephile. You don't have to be a cinephile. Like, this is just, although cinephiles, basically meaning, although, those pretentious movie types, no, it's common sense. might object. I think everybody would object. Like, it doesn't make any sense. If movie theaters want to attract younger audiences who refuse to give up their devices during the 2-hour runtime of most films, they might need to stop banning phones. Stop banning phones? No, you need to teach them. And I don't know how you do this. I don't know what the answer is. All right. I don't know how you do this. But it's classical conditioning. It's what you do with pets. I know it sounds crazy. You need to show them why the movie theater experience matters. And that's harder to do. It's much harder to do, and you're not going to convince everybody. And I get it. But you need to show why the movie theater experience matters. And I don't mean a fucking stupid Nicole Kidman ad. I mean and again, I don't know how you do it. I don't know what the answer is, but the principle of it is to teach why. Why is this important? Why does this matter? So that they naturally on their own put the phone away. You don't buy into it and say, well, if you can't beat them, join them, and we're just going to create a movie theater where everybody's going to be yapping and texting. What is that? Like, what is that? Well, but they don't care because they've got your money. They don't give a frog's fat ass whether you watch the movie or not, which is really what this is about. The movie theaters don't give a frog's fat ass if you watch the movie or not. They don't care because it's not like you can go back to barring some major issue, you can't go back to the box office and say, I want my money back because I didn't like the movie. You can't do that. I know there might have been some situation where somebody threw a hissy fit and fucking fell on the ground and got naked and the manager gave them their money back, maybe. But you can't do that. Like, there's no guarantees you're going to like the movie. So they don't care. Once they've got your, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 25, whatever it is, once they've got your money, they don't care. They don't care. And so they just feel, we'll just do this. We'll cater to the children. We'll cater to the little kids. We'll cater to the children who can't get off their Instagram. Like, it's crazy to me. No, why don't we start... And again, I don't know what the answer is off the top of my head, but let's start doing something that shows the value of the movie-going experience. And listen, nothing is going to be perfect. Even 30 years ago, there were assholes that wouldn't shut up during a movie. Even 30 years ago, there was some guy that, got into a fight in the aisle. And I know it's only been, it's been expanded exponentially, essentially, because of technology and phones and cell phones and buzzing and games. And I get that, but it's not like 30 years ago, everybody was so well behaved and there was never an issue ever. No, there's always been issues, but you don't just say, well, kids, you're fucking assholes and you're idiots, so we're going to give you the fucking asshole idiot theater. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, really? Like, we're going to get, like, I don't, like, it's like, no, let's teach them why this is important and to like, no, listen, this isn't a boring part, Jessica. This is why this matters. Think about this. What is this movie about? Why did you come to see this movie today? And I know I'm painting a very virtuous sort of utopian kind of thing. Not everybody's going to give a shit. It's a losing battle at the end of the day. I get it. But, at least we could try something, like I just, I don't know. Maybe you make a movie about it, or something. But it's just, the answer to me to get more people into the theater or to is not to create a theater that is, dumb idiot friendly. I just think that's not what you do. It's not what you do. It's not what you do. But it's going to be a tough sell. Yeah, I have no doubt. Alamo Drafthouse makes a phone-free environment a major part of its advertising. AMC CEO Adam Aron canceled the plan to test cell phone screenings in 2016 after facing a blistering online outcry. No texting at AMC, he tweeted. Won't happen. You spoke, we listen. He also issued a full-page statement and retraction to the press just 2 days after raising the idea. While the idea might not appeal to purists, it doesn't, because I think it defeats the whole purpose. Cinemas need to attract younger folks to keep theaters and businesses. Well, one way you can do that, not just younger folks, but one way you can do that is lower your prices a little bit, just a little bit, $1, lower by $1, show that you care, just do it a little bit, like $1, that'd go a long way. But at the end of the day, figure out other ways to get rid of the 38-minute commercials, man. I mean, Jesus, when a movie starts at, you say it starts at 7:30 and it really begins at 8, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's 30 minutes, man. Like, I mean, it starts at 7:30, but there's a few commercials and some trailers, so it really starts at 7:40. Okay, not a big deal, right? Not a big deal. That's how it used to be way back in the day. I mean, what's the end game here? It's 30 minutes now. What is it going to be? 50 minutes 10 years from now? Like, where are we going with these ads? I get you need the ads. I get you need the sponsorship money. I get, or not the sponsorship money, but the ad revenue. I get all that. But I mean, like, it's too much because there's a pre-show and then there's the ads. Like the pre-show, I mean, the pre-show tends to be more about movies. Like you'll see some behind the scenes or, some interviews, but there's ads even during the pre-show, right? There's ads during the pre-show. And then there's ads for, it's like, that's one way you can figure it out. If you're going to put all this money into making dumb text-friendly theaters, or pot-only theaters, which I don't know how the hell you contain that, why don't you just take that money and go, hey, you know what? Let's really make an effort here to try and look, it may be a losing battle. You're not going to get everybody, but I don't think the answer is just, well, we can't control kids on their phones, so let's make the dumb theater. Like the text-friendly theater. Could you imagine? What would that be like? What would that be like? I mean, would everybody just be on their phones? Or would it be just a situation where nobody is on their phones, but just if you suddenly have the urge, like to have a cigarette, you have this urge to be on your phone, you'd be like, oh, I'm really enjoying this movie, but I really feel like playing Candy Crush right now. And I can because I'm in a text-friendly theater. Phone for like, it's just, I don't understand why you're even there then. It's just, it's mind-boggling to me. While the idea might not appeal to purists, cinemas need to attract younger folks to keep the theaters in business. So maybe it's time to find some middle ground on iPhones. Middle ground. That could mean hosting select screenings that allow texting. That way, second screeners could enjoy themselves at the theater while serious moviegoers would know to stay away. But even if you're not a serious moviegoer, like, wait a minute, it's not black or white here. Right? I mean, I think most moviegoers, whether you're serious or casual, I would like to think, don't want to be interrupted in the middle of a movie with Susie Q on her phone playing Candy Crush and Billy Bob farting and playing Donkey Kong. I mean, I don't think you need to be a serious moviegoer in order to be able to want that, right? I mean, there's serious moviegoers and then there's everybody else. No, I think there's just rude, self-centered, egotistical, selfish idiots who lack objective awareness. And maybe it's a generational thing, but maybe it's not. There are idiots and self-centered, egotistical dicks that are my age as well, of course. But I don't think it's just, it's just kids being kids. No, I think it's just, rude people that need sometimes a punch in the face. Be like, shut up. Like, shut up. You're in the movie theater. Shut up. It's that simple. Shut up. Like maybe they need somebody like me to come on the screen before the movie begins and go, hi, everybody. Hey, shut up. No, seriously, shut up. Because why are you here? If you're going to talk during the movie, imagine this as a commercial. Of course, that would never fly because it seems too intrusive and too rude. But imagine this. You're sitting in the movie theater, right? And you see somebody like me. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. So the movie's about to begin. And I just want to tell everybody out there that if you're thinking of going on your phones, don't. There's no need to. Shut up. Don't talk during the movie. Don't talk to your friend during the movie as if you're in your living room. Don't talk. Shut up. Because otherwise, why are you here? If you're going to talk during the movie, if you're going to be on your phone during the movie, why are you here? You see how big I am on this screen right now? Why are you here? Why are you here? If you're going to be on your phone and chat, why are you here? Be respectful to other people in the movie theater and enjoy the movie. And you know what? If you don't get on your phone, if you're not on your phone and you're not chatting, you're going to discover things about the movie that you wouldn't ordinarily discover because you're going to be paying attention. That's what they need. They need people like that. It's just fucking, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. It's irritating. Fucking irritating. Where was I here? That could mean, yeah. Another possibility is in-theater partitions. Look at this. Another possibility is in-theater partitions that allow guests to text while not bothering other customers. But here's the situation. If you're in again, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but if you're in a movie theater watching, why are you texting? I don't mean before the movie, during the movie. Why are you texting? Well, my friend Michael texted me. Text him after the movie's done. But he asked a question. Text him after the movie's done. But I need to tell him in the movie. No, you don't. You don't. Just leave it. It's 90 minutes. It's 2 hours. Unless it's an emergency. Hey, Bob, Mom's had a heart attack. Oh, my God. But then you would probably not just text back. You would get up and excuse yourself and leave. Barring a serious emergency, nobody should be on their phones during the actual movie. Like, it's mind-boggling that we're normalizing this. No, let's just normalize this. Hey, I'll just sit down and there'll be like a partition between me. So Phil over here can play Candy Crush. What the hell are we doing? What no. Like, let's, it's unreal. Unreal. Where the hell was I? In-theater partitions that allow guests to text while not bothering other customers, which was tested by Megaplex theaters last year. Theaters are already struggling to prevent audiences from reaching for the devices. Well, of course, because everybody's addicted to it. How much longer can they keep up the fight? Well, there's got to be a better way, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think leaning into it is the answer. More than movies. Well, that just goes on to talk about cinemas aren't just offering the kind of enhanced blockbuster experience crowds, diehard movie lovers. They're also offering screenings of older films, that's true, that include previously unreleased material. The goal is to find alternative types of content at a time when studios aren't making as many movies. As a part of that effort, cinemas are broadcasting sports events and concerts. I get that. I understand it. One company, Fathom Entertainment, has been a major force in bringing special events and alternative types of programming to theaters. Owned jointly by the big three American multiplex chains, AMC Theaters, Cinemark, and Regal Cinemas. Fathom started as a way to engage audiences during times of the week when theaters are less busy. Last year, the company's best performing release was the 15th anniversary edition of the animated movie Coraline, which is a great movie, by the way, which ran in a season filled with opera performances, boxing matches, and even episodic TV shows, such as the religious series The Chosen. Ray Nutt, the company's CEO, points to that show as an example of the sense of community movie theaters can deliver, given the people could have watched it for free at home. Quote, coming out of the pandemic, everybody wanted to gather communally somewhere, and they wanted to be shoulder to shoulder. That's true, he explains. Nutt says the company is hoping to expand by offering even more live content. Those experiences have the potential to reintroduce lapsed theatergoers to the joy of the multiplex. The joy of the multiplex. Quote, Fathom was built as a Monday through Thursday business just to put butts in seats when the commercial product was slow, he says. That was years and years ago, and we've evolved. This is a growth sector of the business, no question about it. Increasing accessibility, they talk about. Now, this I agree with, talking about having screenings or theaters for, people with disabilities, autism, all that kind of stuff. I understand that. I get that. Totally makes sense to me. Open captions, things like that. I totally understand that. At the moment, accessibility and alternative contents are being more widely embraced than allowing texting or selling edibles at the movies. Well, of course. But given the challenges that the industry faces, maybe it won't be long until all of these changes will be coming to a theater near you. Brandon says here, I see no issue with having a special sing-along screening. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I see no issue with that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and you could advertise that, right? Like, this is the theater. If you want to belt it out, you go see yeah, I agree with that. I'm just, look, I don't have all the answers to this, but when I read this article, I thought to myself, holy snap and crap. Like, I mean, you can't just implement that. I mean, there's like I said, especially with the pot thing, right? You know, you're bringing, because the smoke is not going to just stay in that theater, right? In that hall, in that, you know, auditorium. It's not just going to stay in that auditorium. It's going to seep out. You know, it's going to get into the carpet. It's going to get into the seats. You know, the whole theater is going to reek, you know, and yeah, maybe it's not a big deal, but then it's going to seep out into the hallway. And like, you can't do that. You can't, it's like, it's really back in the day. I mean, you know, I'm old enough, as I'm sure a lot of you are, to remember when, you know, you'd go to a restaurant, you'd have smoking or non-smoking, right? And, you know, thinking about it now, it was hilarious. I mean, we'd sit in the non-smoking section, but I could see people over there smoke. I could smell it. I could still smell it. You know, it wasn't like right at the table, but I could still smell it. You know, and sometimes, depending on the restaurant and the size of the restaurant, they would try to put you, you know, as far away from each other as you could. But that wouldn't always happen. You know, and so, you know, just because you're going to have a smoking-friendly theater, which is essentially what that would be, it's not tobacco. But then where does it end, right? Where does it end, right? It starts with pot, but do you slowly, insidiously graduate? Now it's vaping and maybe smoking, tobacco, cigarettes. Who knows? No, can't do that because of state laws and all this kind of, you know, provincial. I get it. I get it. But I'm just saying these things can be insidious. But whether it's tobacco or pot smoke reeks. It smells. You can smell it a mile away. You know, everybody knows what it smells like. Right? So can you imagine 48 people in an auditorium lighting up during a movie and doing that, you know, 5 or 6 times a day? That stuff's not going to stay in the auditorium. You're going to be down, you know, buying popcorn with your daughter who's 5 years old, and you're on your way to see My Little Pony or something, and your daughter's like, Daddy, what's that smell? You know, it's like, yeah, it's going to waft through the whole theater. And so I don't think it's as easy as, unless you have a separate building. Maybe you have a separate building, you build a separate building, but then why are we doing this? You know, why don't you just say, hey, no, smoke your fucking joint, get as high as get as blazed as you want, and then come in and watch the movie. Because depending on how blazed you are, your high will likely last the duration of the movie, if not a little longer. And then you just leave the theater and you're fine. Do you really need to be blazing during the movie? Really? But we got to get these kids in, man. We got to get these kids in. Fuck. No, let's not teach kids how to be, respectful. Let's not teach them that. Let's not teach them that at all. Nah, let's not teach them that. Let's not teach these kids how to be respectful. Let's not teach these kids the value of the cinematic in-theater movie-going experience. But we've tried. No, you've tried by introducing gimmicky shit like D-Box. And like panoramic theaters and like there's some stuff that might be, but it's a little, you know. No, we need to teach people about and I don't profess to know how to do this. I'm just simply saying you need to teach people the magic of movies so that when they go to a movie theater, they go, yeah, I don't need to text Bob right now. I don't need to try and defeat my, you know, highest score on Candy Crush. I can put and they do it naturally, right? What's the saying? You can teach, you know, what's the horse to water, you don't teach them to bring them water, whatever the hell that saying is. You know the saying I'm talking about. And that's what it's all about, right? You know, and basically what you know, what the hell is that saying? What is that saying again? God, I forget that saying. Somebody say the saying. You know the saying that you can teach somebody or you can guide somebody to water, but you teach the horse and the water, whatever the hell that saying is. I'm having a brain fart. I've been firing on all cylinders here, so I'm having a brain fart and I forget what it is. But somebody will let me know in the chat. Somebody will let me know. But I'm totally against it. I'm totally against it, and because I think there's a better way. I think the way is not to just do that. I think it's about, if you want people to give a shit about, because here's the thing, they can do that at home. So what you're doing is not really, you're not getting them to care about the movie-going experience by introducing pot-friendly auditoriums or phone text-friendly auditoriums. You're not getting people to care about movies. Is that your goal? Obviously, they need to make more money. I get that. But let's not pretend we're virtuous and paint this as we need to, this will get them to. It won't get them to care about movies because they can do exactly that at home. The movie theater, and I understand that people have home theaters today and surround sound and Dolby Atmos and big TVs. I get that. But nobody's got a 35-foot screen in their living room, okay? The in-theater movie-going experience is still king. I'm not saying there aren't great home theaters out there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, there is nothing like being in a dark theater, watching a big horror movie or something on a 30, 40-foot screen when the sound is just litting all around you and you're sitting there. Like, it is incredible. It really is incredible. And you want people to care about that. You're just basically, but at the end of the day, I get it. They have their money. I get it. But let's not pretend that's what it's about then. Because Jessica who is not going to give a fuck. She's not going to care more about movies now that she can go into an auditorium and be on her phone for 90 minutes. That doesn't get her to care more about the movie. Mr. Jones is not going to care more about the movie-going experience now that he can light up in the theater. That doesn't get him to care more about the theater and and see the value of watching movies on the big screen where they were meant to be. That's not, no. That doesn't solve your problem. But anyway. All right. If you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Let me go over here and see. I know a few super chats came in. Josh McKenna, $9.99, says, imagine if George Costanza was in the movie theater and someone was texting and singing in the theater. He would lose it. That's true. One of my favorite Seinfeld moments for sure. Josh follows up with, I'm involved with live theater, and once I ran crew for Julius Caesar, and a guy was texting the whole time despite being told to stop. It was really distracting to the actors. They were furious. Yeah, well, I would have had him removed. I would have had him removed from the thing. Brandon Collins says, I don't think anyone is promoting pot smoking as the delivery system. That would violate public smoking laws. They're talking about edibles. Well, I don't know. Are they? Are they? Maybe. They didn't say that, right? And so maybe that's what they're talking about. You think that's what they're talking about? I don't know. That would be better. That would be better. And in that case, then perhaps, but that still doesn't solve the issue of why, why? You can do that at home. You can do it at home. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily, I don't understand what value that necessarily brings. And you're probably right, by the way, Brandon, for all the reasons that I said during my rant, right? You can't do that. You can't do that. But the article is written in a way where it's like, well, we have Mr. Jones outside who's smoking a joint. He's not eating edibles. He's not eating a brownie. He's sitting there going, right? And so, and the article says, at the top here, it says, what does it say? It says, go to the very top. Imagine how much better it would be to watch Barbie and Deadpool if you could see it with a bud. Kevin Jones, who was smoking a joint outside the AMC theater. I agree with what you're saying, right? But the article should also talk about that. Talk about ways it could work and it couldn't work, because I just basically said, if you're going to do that, it would have to be the way that Brandon is talking about. It would have to be. You can't sell weed there or just allow weed, but they wouldn't do that. They'd want to sell weed there, right? So you can't sell that, you couldn't sell joints there for all the reasons I said. It would have to be edibles. It would have to be edibles, brownies, things like that. It would have to be. It would have to be. But the article is written in a way where I'm like, well, they're not talking about that, right? He smokes a joint, helps him loosen up. I smoke before every movie. And the article is sort of, kind of in a way suggesting, yeah, now imagine if you could smoke during the movie. That's kind of like how it's written, right? They have a bar where they can serve alcohol, and maybe there's some joints lined up there. And they would probably have brownies as well. Like, I don't think it would just be joints. They might have some joints, some brownies, some cupcakes, whatever. Edibles, little gummies. I could see that. Sure. I could absolutely see that. I could see that. But to your point, like, or to the, the point I was making, you couldn't do it the other way for all the reasons I said. So, I wish the article had mentioned that, right? And saying things like, hang on, we can't, like, you can't smoke in the theater. You can't do that. And of course, it would depend on the state. And then would some theaters allow it? Some theaters wouldn't, and then maybe some theaters would. And then would Ontario get into or Canada get in the game? And then maybe there's an edible theater, and then there's a smoking theater, but you're only allowed one, or I don't know. Like, it just feels so ridiculous to me, in a lot of ways. Geeked Out Turtle Fan says if they sold weed, it could also lead to problems with people sneaking in harder drugs or possible ODs. Yeah, it might. It might. Yeah, I just don't think it's necessary. And I think if people want to, like, I don't think it's necessary to have edibles either. Because why don't you just have a bunch of edibles before you go into the theater? Like, it's really about the movie theaters making money, right? That's what it's about. And it's not that they've shied away from that, but I don't like that it's also, like, I don't think you would, what am I trying to say? Like, yeah, maybe. And then why would they here's the thing too, right? Why would I purchase edibles at the concessions when I can just bring my own and save money and then go into that movie theater? Unless, no, you have to, in order to go into this movie theater, you have to purchase edibles at this stand, which is outside the movie theater. And it would have to be something like that, because, most people would be like, well, I'm not spending fucking $38 on 4 edibles. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to bring my own, buy a ticket to the edible theater, and just walk into the edible theater, and nobody's going to be any the wiser. What are you going to do? Pat me down? I'm going to go through an edible scanning machine or something? Beep, 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 beep.
Sir, up against the wall, you have outside purchased edibles.
Like, I mean, what are we going to do here, right? And so, but none of this, by the way, if people bought into it, none of this is going to make those people appreciate movies more. It's not. Because all of this, they can do at home in the comfort of their living room with their buddies watching a movie. It is not going to, yes, you will make more money, and that's what this is about at the end of the day. And I understand the business side of it, I really do. But it's not going to make people appreciate movies. It's not going to make little Gen Zer who's 17 years old appreciate the movie-going experience more now that he can go to the concessions and buy a brownie laced with pot. Oh, I love movies so much more now. No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And so I do agree with Brandon that it is unlikely, for all the reasons I've said, that it will be actual smoking of dope, because you just can't. Like, I mean, how do you regulate that in the, not regulate, control that? Well, I guess the same kind of thing, but how do you control that, right? The smell, the smoke, how do you control that? So I needed to talk about that because the article kind of leans into that's what they might do. And would it surprise you? I mean, really, if that's what it ended up being, would it surprise you? Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. But Brandon is right that it is more likely that it would be edibles, brownies, cupcakes, chocolate, who knows? Maybe there'd be popcorn laced with pot or something, or you sprinkle, something on it. I don't know. But to what end? Like you know as well as I do. For those, like I don't smoke pot, but for those of you that do on a regular basis, like you're into it, okay? You're into it. And there's nothing wrong with it, by the way. Like I don't care. Like I'm not against it. So let's say you do, right? You know, after a long day's work, you come home, you've always got a joint. You smoke a couple of joints a week, right? Maybe to unwind, relax. You've always, you regularly pick up, a pack of little edibles, some jujubes or some candies, or, you pick up, some, whatever. You are a regular user, right? I don't mean like you're like a drug addict. I just mean you're a regular user, right? Okay, great. A lot of people are. Well, are you, like, as I said, are you going to spend $38 at the movie theater? I don't know how much it would be, but the price of concessions, it's not going to be like, $4.99. It's probably going to be like $9.99 for a brownie this big. You know what I mean? Are you going to do that? Or are you going to be like, why would I do that? I'm just going to bring my own, or just before the movie. And then you just go in and you don't need to go to that theater. You can just sit in a regular theater. You're stoned as hell. You're blazed to the fucking rafters, but you're relaxed and you're good. And you get to spend less on a movie ticket because you're not in the blazing theater or the edible theater, whatever it would be, right? Because you have no doubt that it would probably be a little more, like how the VIP is a little more because you get alcohol and you get people coming to your table. And that might happen too. Maybe in the edible theater, a little cart, would come by and they're like, do you want some jujubes? Do you want some brownies? Do you want some, whatever? And you're like, oh, I'll have that brownie. That looks good. That'll be great, sir. Here you are. That'll be $943.73. I mean, and so the price to even go to that theater to have that experience, is going to be more. It's not going to be the price of a regular movie ticket. No way. Come on, right? If I wanted to go down the street to my movie theater and I wanted to go to the VIP, which I've done, the ticket is more. The ticket's more. Not like, I don't mean it's like $100 more, but it's a little more expensive. It's like IMAX, right? You go to a regular movie theater, oh, it's like, $15. You go to the IMAX, oh, it's $25. Like it's like that's what it would be. And so I just think eventually, like, yeah, I get that there's this idea, hey, we can appeal to those Gen Zers, those teenagers. Hey kids, come here. You can get high in the theater. Like, it's like they're so out of touch. And yeah, maybe some would do it. Sure. And it would be a little bit of a novelty thing at first, but kids are smart. And eventually they're just going to be like, why am I doing this? I'll just get blazed and then go to the regular movie theater and buy a ticket that's $10 cheaper. Like, I don't, because eventually kids will be like, yeah, I don't really need to be eating edibles while I'm watching a movie. Like, it's not like I'm going to be eating a ton of those. It's not like it's a snack. You're not like popping edibles like you're popping M&Ms. I mean, you could, I guess, but I mean, look out. So it doesn't really, it's kind of a stupid thing. And this goes to show you how desperate movie theaters are, how desperate they are. Because this isn't really about your enjoyment. This is about how can we think of a way to make, hey, kids like to smoke dope. Kids like to be on their phones. So let's create, dope, edible, phone-friendly theaters. And it's like, come on, there's got to be a better way here. There's got to be a better way. There has to be. But, they don't care what I think, of course. They don't care what I think. What's the time? Okay, we're up to an hour. Let me see here. We have, okay, so I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. I have not missed anything. I have not missed anything. It's crazy stuff, folks. It's crazy stuff. And I can't remember, there's a drink limit at the movie theater, right? Is it 1 drink or 2 drinks? There would have to be, because you're serving alcohol and you certainly don't want somebody to get completely bombed at the theater and then have to drive home, right? But there's another thing as well. Like, what's the responsibility, right? So if the pot or if the edibles, I mean, I guess you wouldn't be like, it would be a certain dosage. It would be a certain, strength, because you wouldn't want to, I'm saying something that's really common sense here, but you wouldn't, like, the theater wouldn't want to be responsible for somebody who gets completely blazed, right? Or just completely high, edibles or not, whatever, and then drives home and gets into an accident, right? Like, and then where'd you purchase that pot, sir? At Cinemark. You don't want to, so there would likely be there would have to be a dosage control, how much they sell to one person, dosage control and strength within the edible and pod itself. Like, how high are you really going to get? And then what's going to happen, right? Kids might go to the theater and buy and realize, well, this isn't really that strong. Like, yeah, I feel a little bit of a buzz, but nothing really. I'm just going to bring my own. I'm just going to go home, get as high as fuck and then go to the movie theater. Like, if it doesn't satisfy the kids, if they're not sitting there, and it depends on who the kid is, but if they're not sitting there going, yeah, I feel pretty good right now, bruh. If it's not, and then do you want that person driving home? It's okay, I can drive. And then an accident happens, and then where did they buy the pot? Oh, at AMC. And I know that these would be things that they would think about, and there's rules and regulations, and of course. I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying anything that is not known, but these are things you got to think about. And I'm a huge proponent, not a huge proponent. It's not like I love the movie theater experience, and I have a great setup at home, surround sound, 75-inch 4K TV. I got a great setup, and it's great. I love it. It's a great home theater experience. But it's not the same as sitting in a movie theater in an IMAX watching a movie. It's just not. Now, I also grew up in an era where, that was king and that reigned supreme for so many years. And if you grow up in an era where you watch Marvel movies on here, okay, but I just don't think it's the way. I just don't think it's the right way to do it. Flick Symmetry, what's going on? Tim says everyone tolerates it differently, but the problem with edibles is people don't understand what a single serving is. A cookie could be 10 servings. That's true too. That's right. Everybody's different, right? And it's the same with alcohol. I could have 3 drinks and be fine, and somebody who's, more lanky than I am and younger than me, who hasn't really drank at all, could have 1 beer and completely fucking bombed and on the floor. You know what I mean? So you're absolutely correct. Everybody's tolerance levels are different. And so I just don't, you can't just sell pot. Hey, we have a license, we'll just sell pot to anybody. Obviously there'd be age, an age that you'd have to be. But do I think it's going to happen? I do think it's going to happen. And to Brandon's point, it is unlikely to be actual doobies, actual joints. For all the reasons that I went off on my tangent about, because it's just, but I had to get it out there. I had to say that because this article makes it seem like, Mr. Jones could now, he doesn't have to stand outside. He could just go in and, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just kind of like, hang on a sec. You can't just do that, But I do think it's going to happen. I do. I do think we're going to see it because obviously, and I think more and more states are going to regulate it and make it, not illegal. Like I said, Canada did it in 2015 or 16. Countrywide, every province, marijuana is legal. And the states are a little behind in that. They're obviously, it's going by state, but I think eventually you will. Maybe there'll always be an outlier perhaps, but, and so I do see it happening. But look, maybe you'll make a little bit more money, but here's the thing. Are kids going to want to pay more for the phone theater? Because the auditorium that allows you to be on your phone, are kids going to be because that's going to cost more, right? I don't know how much more, but this is about it's going to cost more because that's the whole point, is to make more money. So it's not going to be the same, like the ticket isn't going to be the same price. So if I want to go see, say, Companion, and it's like, $13, but I want to be on my phone for the whole fucking movie, I don't understand. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. I'm going to go to a movie theater, but be on my phone for the whole movie. Or just have I know that I can check my phone anytime and other people can beep, beep, beep. Like, I just don't get it. Anyways, I've already had that rant. Well, it's not going to be $13. It's going to be $19 now, right? So our kid's going to catch on and be like, well, hang on a sec. Do I really need to be on my phone? Like, maybe I'll just maybe I don't. Like, I don't want to spend $7 more, $6 more. I'll just pay the regular price and go to the regular theater. Because you can start to see that too, right? Like, it's a novelty thing. I don't think it's the same kind of novelty as alcohol. Because alcohol is different. Alcohol, it's just a bit different. This I don't see. I can see the novelty wearing off on this quite quickly. But you want to get people to care about the movie going experience again, right? That's what you really want. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, this isn't a way to do it. It's not a way to do it. Well, that's true. That is true, Brandon. Yes, and I know that they are in the concession business. But the price of the ticket would still be more. The price of the ticket would still be more, right? Because the auditorium, that defeats, like how IMAX is more, the phone-friendly theater would be more. And then it comes down to, so the point then becomes, are kids going to want to pay more to just be in that movie theater on their phones? Or are they not going to do that? And they're just going to be like, they might do it a few times because it's a novelty, but then eventually they're going to be like, yeah, this is kind of, or they're going to be in there and then they're going to be annoyed by other people. Ironically, they're going to be annoyed by other people on their phones, right? You know what I mean? So that is true that theaters are in the concession business. That's really where they make their money, most of their money. And they will absolutely charge a pretty penny for some edibles, or heaven forbid, a joint. But the price to go into that kind of theater will still be more. There's no way it's just going to be the price of a regular ticket. I don't, unless in order to be able, it is the price of a regular ticket, but you have to purchase something at the concessions. And then how do you regulate that? You have to purchase pot. How do you regulate that? Right? Mr. JT said, thank you, Mr. JT says, agree, Dave. It's a sad reality of how the world is. Yeah, well, it's just, look, it's just the ever-changing landscape of movie theaters and how people are not going to movie theaters the way they used to. And really, at the end of the day, the issue here is, yes, it's a business, and obviously theaters need to make more money. But the real issue is the reason why people are not going, whether it's my generation or Gen Z, there's a number of factors, right? One of them, a major one, is cost, is price. And then, of course, people have the ease of access. The reason why a lot of people are not, of course, depending, you still have all the Marvel heads that'll go see it depends, right? But generally, the reason why people are not going to the movie theaters is because they don't have to. And, if you really, I'm not saying that the answer is just to make people care about the movie-going theater experience again. No, it's not just that either. It's a combination of a number of things. But I think a big part of it should be to, and again, I don't know how you do this, but to teach, especially the younger, generation, why this experience is so important, why you should be off your phone, why you should, put your phone away. Don't worry about your phone. Like, look at this. Isn't this I don't know, man. Like, it's just, maybe theaters need, I don't know. It's pretty crazy, though. It's pretty crazy. Let me see here. Chester Franklin Jr. says texting and driving should not be a thing. It's not. It's illegal. What if someone is walking with a child or pet and then a person driving their car, the phone not paying attention? Well, yeah, that's why. I mean, I don't know what it's like in the States, but here in Canada, it's illegal to text and drive. So if you're caught, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people do it. They don't get caught. But if you are caught by a police officer, or even worse, if you cause an accident and it can be proven that you were texting while driving and not paying attention, it's a big deal. That's a big deal. So yeah, that is an issue. That is an issue for sure. For sure. John Doe says weed legal in Canada. It is. Yeah, it's been legal for 10 years, right across the country, every province. It's legal everywhere. Let me see here. By the way, I posted this on my community section, but I'll say it here. Double check that you're subscribed to me, because I've had people reach out and say that they got unsubscribed for some reason. And make sure that the notification bell is on, and that in your phone, in your YouTube app, you have to receive. Don't just hit the bell. Make sure that the app itself you are receiving notifications, because there's quite a few people that have said that they're not getting notifications that I'm going live. But there's a number of reasons why that might happen. Maybe you haven't tuned into me in a while, so YouTube just thinks you're not interested in me anymore, so they don't send you notifications. That happens too. But just make sure that you are. Alex Shambach says, I went to Canada for my senior week in high school. Greatly appreciated those 18-year-old laws. What province did you go to? Like, where were you in Canada, Alec? Let me see. Scrolling back here. Fliximetry says, I enjoy my theater as well, but it's not the same as going to the theater. That's right. That's right. Yeah, your home theater. Yeah, I get it. It's not. It's not. And people say, well, no, it is. It's exactly the same. It's not exactly the same. It literally can't be. It literally can't be. Right? No, it's not the same. I'm not saying it's not great. But there is a difference. When you sit at home, no matter how big your TV is, no matter how great your sound system is, no matter how great your room is treated, it can be great. But going to an IMAX theater and seeing some epic, it's a whole different level, you know? And especially if you go to a movie theater that's packed with a lot of people and you're both, responding to what's on the screen and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just incredible. It can be absolutely incredible. So it's pretty cool stuff. Quebec City and Montreal. That's what I thought. When you said 18, that's what I thought. It's not 18 across the country, though. In order to go to bars and to drink in Ontario, you have to be 19. I think there is another province that's 18, or maybe it's 18 in Alberta, or maybe... I don't think Quebec is the only province where it's 18. I don't think. But it is not like that across the country. So, but yeah, so when you said that, I thought that you had gone to Quebec. I think that's why a lot of U.S., especially if you live in the Northeast or the Midwest, often will travel to Quebec, because most high school kids are not 19. You're out of high school by then, right? And a lot of, I think, class trips will go to Quebec and Montreal because you're legally allowed to go to a bar. And what fun would a high school trip be if you can't go anywhere? Especially at that age, right? I mean, at that age, I want to go to the bars, man. I want to go to the bars, bro. Yeah, bro. Fleximetry, marijuana is still against federal law in the United States. That's true. It's depends on the state, right? Regardless what states do, if a business derives income from marijuana, they're unable to deposit it in federally insured banks. I think you had mentioned something about that on the last stream. Or am I dreaming? Yeah, interesting. Ryan says, yes, it's 18 in my province of Alberta. There you go. Yeah. So there's a couple of provinces where it's 18. Ontario, it's 19. But I was never a big drinker anyway, so that didn't really affect me. But I grew up in Ottawa, so which is right on the border of Quebec. Like literally, you just cross the bridge and you're in Hull or Gatineau, Quebec. And there were many times where we would just cross the bridge into Quebec, and we could go to all the clubs, all the nightclubs. So it definitely had its advantages at that point. All right, so I think I've got everything, right? I've got all the, there were just a few super chats that came in. I believe I've got everything. I have. All right, well, listen, that's going to do it for this episode of McRae Live. I want to thank you for tuning in tonight, folks. I really, really, really appreciate it. Hey, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this article and on, pot-friendly theaters, cell phone-friendly theaters, whether, do you agree? There's no way that they could make a pot-friendly theater and have people smoking. That would just be crazy. It would have to be what Brandon alluded to. Is like, it's got to be like an edible thing. But even then, even if that is the case, why would you purchase edibles at the theater? Like, why wouldn't you just get high in your car outside and then just walk into the movie theater? Like, why? Are you so much into edibles and movies that you need and let me know. Listen, I don't smoke dope, folks. So let me know, for all you pot fiends out there, let me know. Would it be enough for you? Like, the idea of being able to sit in a movie theater and pop a couple of edibles? Like, is that, like, do you have to do, like, would you be willing to pay more for just that experience? The experience, because listen, you can sit in your car, smoke a doobie, and walk into the movie theater and watch a movie for less. And you're still going to be high. You're still going to be stoned. So, like, is it really an incentive here? Like, is it, like, do you need to be in the theater, in the seat, popping a couple of edibles and then getting hot? Like, is that enough for you? Like, does that entice you? Would you do that? Or would you just save money and pop a couple of edibles in your car or smoke a doobie before you, like you do now? Like all of you do right now, because you do it now. So, like, I don't get that. Like that, I don't understand that. That doesn't make any, hey, we're selling, fucking brownies at the concessions now. Okay. Am I going to buy a $14 brownie? Like, what am I going to do here? Just for the experience of sitting in a theater seat eating it? Like, is that enough? Jump into the comment section, let me know. Like, it just feels so weird to me. Daniel Palma says, stop stereotyping me with your stoner voice. Oh, it's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen. What's going on, man? Hey, bro, what's going on? What's happening, Daniel? What's happening, bro? It's a stoner voice, man. Whoa, what's happening, bro? Josh McKenna comes in at the buzzer. $1.99 says, off topic, but I know you like true crime. I do. Have you heard of the Turpin siblings? They face physical and psychological abuse from their parents. Oh, yes, I have. Yes, I have. They thankfully escaped, and the parents are in prison. Yes. That was like that's a creepy cult situation. They were so malnourished. They were chained up too, I think, right? Something like that? Yeah, I have. Brutal shit. Was that the one where the girl escaped through a window and went to seek help, and she was like 17, but she sounded like she was 12 because she was so malnourished and off. I think that's the one, right? I think, or am I thinking of something else? But yeah, Dad says butter, salt, or weed on your popcorn. I said that. I said maybe they're going to sprinkle some weed. Like, I'm not saying it isn't possible to do. I'm just saying, what's the incentive? Are people today, right, all the stoners out there, Gen Z, I'm talking to you, Gen Z, would you be willing to pay more just for the experience of having an edible while you're sitting in a movie theater seat? Something you can do in your car 5 minutes ago for free. Like, this is what I mean. I don't get it. It doesn't, like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think that that's not going to, I don't think it's going to fly. I don't think it's going to fly. I think that's just weird to me. I think it's just weird. Brandon says, yeah, and the dad had a fucked up haircut. That's right. Like that bowl cut. They had like 18 children or something. They take them to Disney World and yeah, that was a pretty fucked up situation for sure. That was a situation that was pretty messed up. All right, I think I've got everything. Let me just double check here. Daniel Palma, what's going on, Daniel? What's up, bruh? And then Josh McKenna. Yes. Okay, I've got everything, man. What's going on? What's happening? Yeah, folks, jump into the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Maybe you've got some ideas of how you think it would work. Maybe you know how it would work. Maybe there's you're like, you know what? It could work like this. It could work like this. Maybe, I don't know. But I think this is just silly. And I know movie theaters, I know you want to make money and but how do you entice, I just don't believe that people are going to spend more money to just pop a couple of edibles in a movie theater seat when they can do it cheaper and, all intents and purposes for free in their car in the parking lot. Okay. All right. Yeah, but isn't it neat to be able to sit in a movie theater? Don't you feel like you're doing something taboo? I just had a gummy that's laced with pot. I'm sitting in the movie theater seat. Oh, listen, look, that narrative. And then eventually you're going to realize, why am I buying $36 gummies? Anyway. Folks, that's going to do it for me. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Friday night. Jump into the comment section, like I said. If you're not following me on social media, all my links are in the description. Check them out until your heart's content. And when your heart is content, check them out again. That'll do it for me. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you all soon. Alrighty. Cheers.